Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you are all in good condition. So welcome back to our English class. So today we will have a nice discussion about models. Maybe you have heard this kind of concepts, yeah, in your previous level of education. So it kinds of reviewing, but we are going to discuss deeper about models itself. So what are the definition of modals, what make it different with another verbs, and also um, what is the function actually of the models, and then we will have a lot of examples of models and also types of models. So I will share my screen then. So models, as I said before, is different with common verbs or from normal verbs. Why? Because there are some important differences. The first one is because modal verbs do not take s in the third person. So if you throw back when we learn about present tense, or when you learn about present tense previously, yeah, if you remember, you have to put s, yeah, whenever you use verb for the third person, or for the pronoun he, she, and it, yeah. So in this case, for modal verbs, you do not need to use s for he, she, it. Examples: he can speak Chinese. For he, normally, if we use only normal verbs, for example, he speaks Chinese, so after the speak we have to use s. But in this case, because it is modal verb, yeah, so we do not use s. It is the same with the second example. She should be here by 9 o'clock. So after should, yeah, it should be base verb. And in this case, it is to be, and it becomes the word be, because we need the very base form. So she should be here by 9 o'clock. And then secondly, you use not to make modal verb negative, even in simple present and simple past. So whenever you want to use, or you want to write negative sentence with modal verbs inside, so you use not, whether it is in the simple present or whether it is in the simple past. For example, he should not be late, and they might not come to the party. So we can immediately put not after the modal verbs. So third, many modal verbs cannot be used in the past tense or the future tense. Um, so for example, he can go with us. It is not correct. Why it is not correct? Because it combines the future tense with the use of modal verbs. Also, if we want to use modal verbs, we couldn't use it in the past tense and future tense. So he can go with us is not correct. How about the second example? She must study very hard. Yeah, we know that must is one of modal verbs. Yeah, and but it cannot be used in the past tense. Yeah, so there is no she must study very hard. It's not correct. So it can only be used in present tense. Yeah. So how about the function of the modal verbs actually? In English grammar, a modal is a verb that combines with another verb to indicate mood or tense. A modal, also known as a modal auxiliary or modal verbs, expresses necessity, uncertainty, possibility, or permission. So this is the function of modal verbs, yeah? Expresses necessity, uncertainty, possibility, or permission, yeah? There are two types of modal verbs. The first one is pure modals. The second one is semi-modals. So what does it mean by pure modals, and what does it mean by semi-modals? We could talk about that later on. So pure modals means that it will never change their form regardless of subject, and do not change to show past tense. These verbs can express certainty or suggestion. pure modals are followed by a bare infinitive or base form, yeah, an infinitive verb without to. Examples here. I can sing. Bob can sing. I found out they can sing. I should go. She should go. We should go. So whether we use the third person, whether we use the first person, we do not need to use. We do not need to change the models itself. Yeah. And if we already use should, for example, we do not need to change the structure when we need to use past tense. I mean, the verb to is the pure models itself. Yeah, we do not need to, for example, I should when or she should when. Yeah, so we use their infinitive or base form after the word should. So modal verbs can also be used in the negative by adding not, as in I cannot sing. Like previously, I already talked about this. So pure modals, how many are the pure modals, or are what are pure modals, or what models belongs to pure models? So these are the words that belongs to pure models. So can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, and would. So how about semi-modals? What does it mean by semi-modals? If the pure models, the structure do not change according to the subject or also according to the past tense or the tenses, especially past tense, the semi-modals actually are used to imply a range of possibilities, obligation, necessity, or advice. And notice that these verbs can be conjugated by subject and tense. So it's on the opposite with what pure modals is, yeah? So I need to take responsibility for my action. If we use the third person, so we need to add as after the word needs. She needs to take responsibility for her action. They needed to take responsibility for their action. So it could be changed or it could be conjugated according to the subject and also the tense, yeah? You ought to know better by now. These are the examples. The four semi-modals generally agreed upon are, so these are four semi-modals that normally noun or that normally used in our daily life or in our writing, and also whenever we use English. Yeah? So the first one is need to, the second one is ought to, the third one is used to, the fourth one is dare to. So I think this will be the end of the explanation about models. Remember, you can always search or you can always elaborate, explore things about models more from the YouTube video, from the book, the English book that I already gave to you, and also from other sources to strengthen your understanding about models. If you have any question according to the models, you can directly send a message to me, or you can drop your comments below, and also you can open the discussion in discussion forum in e-learning. So thank you very much for paying attention to me. I hope to see you again in the next material. See you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.